the Misti Blue Podcast, where strategy meets soul and faith finds its voice. And today, reflection meets inheritance. Pull up a chair, the table is set. There is a significant age gap between my youngest son and his two older siblings. By the time he stepped into his adolescent years, our home had already begun to feel a bit quieter. And after my divorce, life shifted again. And for a meaningful stretch of time, it has simply been he and I building our own way of being, our natural rhythm within the home in a very intentional way, in a way that required awareness, in a way that asked us to be present when it mattered. See, when siblings are grown and gone and seasons change, a house can begin to feel almost like an only child home for the one who's left behind. And in that quiet, traditions seem to grow louder. They take on a bigger presence. And in our home, the kitchen has always been the heartbeat. It's where the day softens, where conversations unfold naturally and organically, and where love becomes extremely visible. Whenever I cook, when my son finishes eating and stands to clear his plate, he says the same thing every single time. It's very simple. He literally will stand up, plate in his left hand, move to push his chair in with his hip, and say, "Thanks for the food, Mom." He says it with intention, with steadiness, with a clear understanding. And I never trained him to say it. I never asked him to say it. He learned it by living inside of what it takes. See, he's watched me prepare pork chops and season them just the right way, and chicken fried steak that can't be rushed because gravy demands attention, biscuits pressed by hand, not popped out of a can, and collard greens cleaned leaf by leaf, sweet potatoes warmed with cinnamon, nutmeg, vanilla, and memory. He's watched me cook with gospel music playing softly in the background or old movies flickering nearby. He's been he's seen hands that learned from hands that came before them. Because cooking in our family has never been casual. It has always been intentional. It's a way of placing someone at your table in spirit, not just in space. And one day, when he noticed that I cooked for someone outside of our immediate family with the same tenderness I cook for us, it made me pause because he understood something sacred, that this kind of cooking carries meaning. It's not just about filling plates, it's about offering presence. It's about saying, without words, you matter enough for me to prepare something carefully. That moment reminded me that appreciation is not about compliments. It's not about enjoying the smell in the house, and it's not even about benefiting from what someone gives. Appreciation is about understanding the cost, the time, the memory, the lineage, the intent, and the care. Food like this is not just food. It isn't just recipes or instructions on a page or an Instagram recipe. It's music while you stir. It's inherited instinct. It's love that's made visible. My mother's banana pudding carries that kind of weight. So does her red velvet cake. Homemade, never from a box. A recipe passed down from my father's mother to her. And hopefully one day will fill my hands. But that banana pudding recipe has been entrusted to me, and I have yet to share it with anyone, not even my daughter. Some recipes are more than ingredients, they're stewardship. And then there is my grandmother's macaroni. Not just the dish she made it in, but the dish she carried it in. It's a glass, it's oval, it's embossed with delicate patterns that catch the eye. It has a matching glass lid that settles perfectly into place. I can still see her dainty hands, always with red fingernail polish, gliding into family gatherings with that macaroni held proudly in front of her. And glide is the only word that fits my grandmother. She didn't rush into a room. She entered gracefully, intentionally, carrying something she knew would bless everyone at the table. And she always made sure enough remained for me to carry some home. Not take it home and not pack leftovers, but she would say, I made some for you to carry home. And that distinction matters because carrying something home means it was given with intention. It was entrusted. It was meant to travel with you. I inherited that dish after she passed, and every time I open the cabinet and see that oval glass with its embossed lid, I can still feel her presence. I feel her gatherings. I feel her pride. I feel the lineage of women who loved through preparation. Recently, as we prepare to transition from this home into a new shared space, we had the opportunity to sit at my daughter's table. She prepared the meal, she plated the food. She served with that same quiet attentiveness I once modeled beside her. And as my son stood to clear his plate, he looked at her and said, Thanks for the food, sister. And just like that, lineage continued. This home has held our rhythm, just my youngest and me. But as we close this chapter and step into another, one thing will remain certain. The kitchen will matter. The table will matter. And the food will matter. Here's to Sunday dinners. Here's to teaching my daughter how to fry pickles just right. Here's to teaching my youngest son how to clean collard greens properly, leaf by leaf with patience. Here's to my mother passing me her banana pudding recipe, a treasure I still guard. Here's to the red velvet cake recipe, handed down from my father's mother to mine, and hopefully to me one day. Here's to my grandmother's macaroni and the oval glass dish that still carries her dignity. Here's to every time I have heard, Thanks for the food, Mom. And here's to hearing my son say, Thanks for the food, sister. And here's to you. Every time you add your special seasoning, every time you sprinkle the extra dash of cinnamon, every time you prepare something with care and no one pauses to acknowledge it, let me say it for them. Thanks for the food. I see you, and your effort is valued. Your preparation matters and your table is sacred, even if gratitude is not always spoken out loud. Some people can taste your food, but the ones who understand it, the ones who carry it home, will always know to say, Thanks for the food. Until next time, pull up a chair. The table is set.